What's up, Bears fans? Harrison Graham here with another edition of Chicago Bears. Now, coming up on today's show, 10 edge rushers the Bears could either sign or trade for before training camp, I'll say, to add to this unit. You look at the defensive line. There's been some improvements on paper. I like the DeMarcus Walker signing. I think Rasheem Green's a good rotation guy, but not really a starter. Andrew Billings, Justin Jones, along with Javon Dexter, Zach Pickens on the interior. We'll see if Dominique Robinson and Travis Gibson do anything this year, but you certainly need more edge rushers. I don't think there's any doubt. So 5 trade targets, 5 free agents. We're going to kind of mix and match throughout the show. So let's go ahead and kick things off with Chase Young, who's been connected to trade rumors for about a month now, ever since Washington declined his 5th-year option. And the reason they did that is because in 2020, when he was the number 2 overall pick, really good rookie season, right? Had 8 sacks, 4 forced fumbles. He was a guy that was on an upward trajectory to be the next great pass rusher in this league. Then the next year, the production kind of was down early. Then he tears the ACL, so that ends up being kind of a waste. And then that carried over into last year. He only played the last 3 games of the season. That ACL recovery took a little bit longer than expected, so didn't really do anything last year. So now he's got 1 year left on his rookie contract, and the question for the Bears or any other team that would be interested in trading for Chase Young is, can he return to 2020 form? Is he a guy that can still be an elite pass rusher? I think he's got the tools to do it, but do you trust him to stay healthy? Is that production going to get back to where it is? Him and Justin Fields overlapped at Ohio State, so you've got that connection. You certainly need an edge. I wouldn't trade a first-round pick for him. Day 2 pick, maybe. Maybe it's kind of a comp pick. If he reaches certain incentives, it becomes a higher pick for Washington, but certainly would like to have more assurances there. Yannick Ngakoue, as we take a look, is a free agent option, spent last year with Indianapolis. He's just super consistent as a rusher. I know he's not good against the run. We're beating a dead horse with this guy at this point, but you need sack production, and that's what he provides. 8+ sacks in all 7 years of his career. Had 9.5 last year, 10 the year before. He's doing something right. I don't understand why he's unsigned. Maybe he's holding out hope for a bigger contract than he's getting offered by teams. I'm not sure, but I would certainly bring him in a heartbeat. I'd also show some consideration to Jadeveon Clowney, the edge rusher who has been all over the place in recent years. Past 2 years with Cleveland, things kind of went awry late last year, so him and the Browns kind of amicably, or I should say non-amicably, split. Only had 2 sacks, but still graded out as one of the best run defenders in the NFL among edge rushers. We know he brings that to the table. He seals the edge really well, stops the run extraordinarily well. He's never quite lived up to that number 1 pick hype. He's never even had a 10-sack season, but just 2 seasons ago he had 9 sacks. So he's capable of being a good rusher as well, even if he doesn't always finish the play. He would still be a pretty clear upgrade at defensive end in this 4-3 scheme. So I would certainly be interested in Clowney. Kind of a tale of 2 players. Ngakoue, the better pass rusher. Clowney, the better run stopper. Pick an edge. Who would you rather have? Type YN for Yannick Ngakoue, or you can type JC for Jadeveon Clowney. Pick an edge rusher down in the comment section. YN for Ngakoue or JC for Clowney. Next up is Carl Lawson, who would be another trade option, at least for now. There's some chatter he could get cut, especially post-June 1st. He would certainly be a target if he were to get cut by the Bears. With the Jets, 1 year left on his deal. Had 33 tackles, 7 sacks last year, 24 QB hits, so he's in the backfield quite a bit. Had a forced fumble. You look at his contract details for 2023, the final year of his deal. Cap hit, $15.73 million. I think a little high for what he's brought to the table the last couple of years. Dead cap, just $330,000. So that's why there's a lot of chatter that the Jets might just cut him instead of trade him, because they can just save $15 million there. Now the Bears can absorb Lawson if they don't want to risk him hitting free agency and signing elsewhere. Now the Bears could claim him if he get cut, because first in the waiver order, but I doubt they would claim $15 million, but they want to just trade for him, guarantee themselves they get it. I think they would either want him to agree to a restructure for this year, or maybe an extension to lower that cap hit for this year as well. Bears do have $35 million in cap space as we speak right now, so they could certainly make this move if they wanted to via trade. I think they'd prefer it if it was a lower cap hit number, so we'll see if he'd be willing to agree to some sort of a restructure. Now, today's show is sponsored by our newest sponsor here at Chicago Bears. Now, it is Bird Dogs, the best shorts and pants in the game. And with promo code CHAT, they will throw in a free Yeti-style tumbler with your first purchase. As someone who loves looking good and feeling confident, I'm excited to share my personal experience with our new sponsor, Bird Dogs. These shorts and pants have truly changed the game for me. The fit is unparalleled. I've never felt better in any other clothing item. Not only do they make me look great, but they're so comfortable that I can wear them all day long without feeling restricted. Plus, the stretchy fabric hugs my legs in all of the right places. But what really sets Bird Dogs apart is their versatility. I wear them to the office, on dates, when I go work out, even on the golf course, and every time I feel like I'm dressed to the occasion. It's such a relief to not have to worry about changing my outfit in the middle of the day. If you're ready to elevate your wardrobe with Bird Dogs, I highly recommend you guys giving them a try. I would not send you in the wrong direction here. If you order right now, by the way, with promo code CHAT at birddogs.com, like I said, they will throw in a free Yeti-style tumbler. I love my Yeti-style tumbler from Bird Dogs. I use it every single day, whether it's my ice-cold water or coffee. Birddogs.com, promo code CHAT. Get the best shorts in the game and that tumbler as well. Go check them out. That link and promo code in the description and comments of this video. Next up is Frank Clark, another free agent option for Chicago at the edge position. Now, rumors of Frank Clark potentially returning to Kansas City have kind of kicked into gear. Chris Jones, his best friend on the Chiefs and partner in crime on that defensive line, has been tweeting at the Chiefs every day to re-sign Frank Clark, and Frank Clark acknowledged one of those tweets, so maybe he ends up back in Kansas City. But he has a history with Ryan Poles, who was in the Chiefs front office when they traded for Clark a few years ago. So you've got that connection. Really good playoff performer, good regular season player, but either way would certainly help out this defensive line. Now, should the Bears sign or trade for an edge? Which would you rather prefer? Which route would you rather go? Type S for sign or T for trade. Obviously, if you're trading, you're probably going for more of a home run hit like a Chase Young, like a Carl Lawson, if you think one of those guys could be a better option. Free agent option, type S for sign. Next up is Justin Houston as we stick with free agent options here. Spent last year with the Baltimore Ravens, but wherever this guy goes, he's just productive, man. I mean, 9.5 sacks last year, and I think he only played 44% of defensive snaps. Those 2 years with the Colts in 19 and 20 were under Matt Eberflus, who was their defensive coordinator at the time, had 19 sacks in those 2 seasons, so he's familiar with Flus and the scheme, has connections to him, obviously, there, and to Ryan Poles, because he spent the first 8 years of his career with the Kansas City Chiefs. Poles was in the front office the entire time, so you've got that. He's viewed as a high-character guy. He's been in the league for a long time, viewed as a leader. I think as a veteran guy like that, he could certainly help out this young locker room. Danielle Hunter, as we go back to the trade options here. Look, it's more of a long shot because it's interdivision. The Vikings traded Zadarius Smith, so they may not want to trade Hunter as well. But the Vikings are certainly showing a willingness to retool. Maybe they would trade Danielle Hunter for the right trade offer. Who knows, right? I mean, I think Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, their GM, has certainly shown a willingness to do that. Sounds like they're going to move Dalvin Cook as well. Hunter had 10.5 sacks last year, 12 TFLs. Productive, athletic. He certainly fits the physical mold of what Poles and Eberflus like in their defensive linemen. Again, it's just the main roadblock is, would Minnesota trade him within the division? I'm not sure, but I would certainly be interested if I was Chicago. If you want Bears videos every single day, we are the channel for you, so subscribe, turn on those notifications. That way you never miss a video here on Chicago Bears Now. News, rumors, live shows, mailbags. We do it all. Go ahead and subscribe. It's 100% free. Couple more guys here back to free agency. Leonard Floyd, who is a player that obviously was drafted by the Bears back in 2016. Had an okay stint here. Bears moved on. He signed with the Rams and was damn good there, right? I mean, he had 29 sacks in 3 seasons for Los Angeles. They cut bait with him to clear some cap space. I'm frankly surprised he still remains unsigned. He's always been a good run defender, and he became a good pass rusher with the Rams. The one question mark for Chicago, is he big enough to play in a 4-3 scheme? I think at this point in free agency, I would certainly take him. I think you guys would too. How about a familiar face, Robert Quinn, former Bear who ended up getting traded to the Eagles midway through the year last year to help bolster their defensive line. He didn't really end up doing that. He did not have a good year at all, had just 1 sack between his time with both teams. But that year in 21 was unreal when he had 18.5 sacks and 4 forced fumbles. First year with the Bears, not that good. Year before that with Dallas, he's been really good. So if you're operating under the every other year theme, because that's kind of what he's been in his entire career, maybe 23 is a good year. I know this. He did not want to leave Chicago. Even when we saw him at the Super Bowl, he kind of made it clear of, I didn't want to get traded. I wanted to stay with the Bears. I like the city of Chicago. So maybe he would be open to a return. I don't know if he thinks that ship has sailed with this new regime. I don't know. But if it's like a vet minimum deal or just $3 or $4 million just for mentorship alone, I think he would have value on this team. Now, pick an ex-Bear. Who would you rather bring back? Type LF for Leonard Floyd or type RQ for Robert Quinn. Let me know what you guys think. LF for Floyd or RQ for Robert Quinn. Drop an initial in the comments. And then we got one more. Michael Danna with the Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe a name you've heard of, maybe one you haven't. Certainly a lesser name than some of these other guys. Pretty good year last year, though. 5 sacks for the Chiefs. He's been a rotation rusher for them for a few years. And the reason I mention them is they drafted Felix Anudike-Uzomah. They've been linked to bringing back Frank Clark. Danna could be kind of not forced out of the rotation, but have a lesser role. And he would have a bigger role in Chicago. And on top of all that, Ryan Poles was a part of that front office that drafted Danna in 2020. Good find on day 3 of the NFL draft. A guy that's gotten a little better every year. 2.5 sacks his first year, 3 his second year, 5 this past year. So, if he keeps improving, maybe he'd give you 6 or 7 sacks. Who knows? If nothing else, he could add to this rotation, and I don't think it would cost you that much. Okay, there you go. Recapping here, some edge targets, both via free agency and trade. 6 free agents, 4 trade options. Chase Young, Yannick Ngakoue, Jadeveon Clowney, Carl Lawson, and Frank Clark. Then you got Justin Houston, Danielle Hunter, Leonard Floyd, Robert Quinn, and Michael Danna. I think all 10 of these guys would help bolster this group as you try to get better on your pass rush. Okay, appreciate everybody for tuning in. The sub button is going to make sure you never miss a video, that along with the notifications. So join the movement. We're closing in on 67,000 subscribers. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's show.